Embrace your curves, love every part. Thick thighs, big heart. Stand tall, shine bright. You're a star on my night. Thick thighs, matter, don't you see? Beauty in all shapes, that's the key. Confidence in every stride. Thick thighs, matter, let your light shine. Stretch marks, beauty lines. Each one tells a story so divine. Embrace your body, love your skin. In a world of standards, let self-love win. Thick thighs matter, don't you see? Beauty in all shapes, that's the key. Confidence.
All right, welcome to the Thick Thighs Matter podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Beasley, and today, I'm surrounded by queens. Now, they are queens in their own right, and they are queens. We have Mrs. Plus America and Miss Plus America Elite. Now, I know you guys didn't know. Some of you probably sitting there saying, oh my God, there is a Plus America, and there is. And this is why they're here today, so we can talk about it and you can learn about it. Maybe you want to join, or maybe you just want to support. So thank you, queens, for being with me today at Thick Thighs Matter podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
No problem. This is going to be so fun because I want to tell you a quick little backstory. Now, I am familiar with the Miss Plus America pageant because back in the day, and this is what, 2024, so like around 2013 or 14, I was a small like assistant director for my area in Augusta, Georgia. And I took two ladies to the Miss Georgia Plus. And that was, her name is Miss Christina Short, and she won Miss Plus of Georgia Plus America Plus. And then my other, I cannot remember her name, she's gonna kill me. But my other lady, she won the People's Choice. Now everybody know People's Choice. Now that's the money. If they believe you so hard, they put money in that jar for you. So they won that. And that's how I have my connection with the Plus America, well, with the Plus pageant. I didn't know there was one either, and I felt at the time that I was like, oh, what a better way to highlight and spotlight beautiful, intelligent, talented plus-size ladies that's doing something great in their community. And so that's my involvement with that. Very short-lived now. I never tried to walk that stage or anything, but I was behind the scenes with that, and it's not just glitz and glam. It's a lot that go into being a Plus America queen. So the first person I want to talk to is Miss Murdaugh. I think I said that right. Miss Plus America. So what state did you originally represent before you won the title?
I originally represented South Carolina.
Oh.
Matter of fact, both Shimon and I are from South Carolina. So both of us on the state level, I was actually the Supreme Queen, which is like the elite, but on the state level, Shimon won her division, Miss South Carolina Plus America, and we both went to national and snatched those titles, honey, and brought them both back home to South Carolina.
Did not know y'all was right next door. Listen, how awesome is that? I think, and Miss Plus America Elites, what drove you to want to be a part of this organization and to get involved in pageantry?
So for me, it's actually just seeing the fact that there was a plus size pageant available and actually having delegates participate. For me, it's actually coming from those early years, not being able to be accepted because of your size and not having those opportunities available to you. And for me being a fresh into plus size modeling, I was like, I've modeled, I want to try something else. So I saw this opportunity and I competed my first year in 2022 at the state level. I was the first runner up for Miss South Carolina Plus America. I ended up having the opportunity to go to nationals. However, because of family, I actually could not go. I had to stay behind to make sure my grandmother was okay. She did end up passing September of 2022. And so it was the next year coming around, and I was like, this year I'm gonna do it for her. And I actually signed up and went on to advance to Ms. South Carolina Plus America, going in with Kiever to nationals. And Kiever and I, like she mentioned before, we snatched those crowns.
Oh, I love it. And can I call you Kiever?
Yeah, please.
Kiever, what were you doing prior to this? Because if you're MRS, you're married. Do you have children? And what were you doing prior to being a part of this, the pageant circuit?
So yes, I am married. We've been married for 25 years. We have 2 adult children. We have a 24-year-old. He'll be 25 coming up in November. We have a 21-year-old. She'll be 22 coming up in September. So this was actually my first pageant, Kimberly. I had never done pageantry before. I'm an entrepreneur, so I have several businesses. I'm a 3-time author. With my one of those visionary works as being my own project, which I am extremely proud of. I'm also in the healthcare industry. I'm a program manager slash rehab director. I'm a physical therapist assistant by trade. So that's my 9 to 5. I'm a minister. I'm an ordained minister, have been ordained for several years. So as you can see, I wear plenty of hats. So I am just always staying busy. I work very diligently in my community. I love community service. I love giving back. I love volunteering. But what really warms my heart is being able to pour into women and young girls. So yeah, I'm a woman that have a very strong work ethics. I do not believe in just sitting still and sitting idly. So yeah, I'm just constantly moving and shaking.
Yeah, you said a mouthful. That's a whole lot. You got a lot on your plate. You wear several crowns, not just that one. You wear a
Yes.
lot of crowns. And Shimon, is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So with your crown, there's a platform that you stand on. And you have to always say, my platform is, what is your platform?
My platform is Breaking Barriers for All. It is also a platform that includes battling not only a woman who has to suffer with infertility, but also battle the challenges of a learning disability. When I was younger, I was told I would never graduate high school. I would that my IQ that it was very low. Now, mind you, this was when in elementary school, and the only problem was I learned differently from everyone else. Back then, they had there was no patience for teaching kids who learn differently. It was like stick to the script and go on. So for me, I actually took my time and each class I passed. And by the time I graduated, not only my high school on time, I went to college, got my BA, my master's, and I'm a doctoral student in the
Come
criminal
on,
justice
man.
program. So for me, that's about breaking barriers and, learning about not allowing stereotypes to impact your life. That's where plus size modeling comes into play, because at once I was scared. I was terrified to model. And I started modeling actually in the pandemic. I'm a probation officer during the day. And when the pandemic hit, it was like, that was a wake up call that I did not want to miss any type of opportunities for myself or anything that would impact, because I never wanted to be like, oh, I wish I'd never, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. And I took the time and I did it. And since then, I encourage everyone who is in my circle to make sure you break those barriers. And with that platform, I developed BU Queen, which is my business where I actually influence plus size modeling by coaching plus size models how to actually land those casting calls and be selected in the high volume gigs, as in New York Fashion Week and even any other the local fashion weeks that we have here.
Wow. And Miss Kiever, what is your platform?
My platform is to end violence against both women and children. And I chose that platform because unfortunately, I grew up in a very volatile household. So I saw and heard all types of abuse, whether it was physical, mental, verbal, anything like that. And for me, it took many years for me to be able to heal, even though I wasn't the one physically getting attacked. Children still suffer from mental abuse, verbal abuse. And because of living through those situations, you have mental illnesses that may arise, such as PTSD or triggers. So for me, it was just really important to put a name with domestic violence and children growing up in those volatile households. It was very important for me to help our youth understand that they have a voice. Growing up in such an environment like that, I didn't realize that I had a voice. Matter of fact, I was silenced. I had a stutter. So a lot of my family members did not quite understand me because I couldn't really effectively communicate. So they thought that I was crazy, I was dumb, I was slow, I was this, I was that. So part of my platform, especially when I'm interacting with the youth, is to help our youth understand that they have a voice. Their voice deserves to be heard. They deserve to be seen. And also to give them practical tips and strategies that they can implement in their lives if they have been a victim in such volatile environments. So it's just really about empowering them and letting them know that they matter.
You all have some amazing platforms. And I know that you're effective in your communities just by the way that you all speak about, each one of you spoke about your passions, about your platforms, and not only just this is my platform, but this is why I chose it. And you went just so just dove into explain why you chose this platform. So let's go to the pageantry. How hard was it? How hard is it to go from um learning about being a queen and actually executing as far as the pageantry part, the walking the stage, the moving with grace, the answering the questions? How hard is that pageantry training?
I will say for me, I had nothing to compare it to. Because as I stated earlier, this was actually my first pageant. I never really was a child that wanted to participate in any type of pageantry growing up. I actually did it because I was a newly empty nester. My daughter had gone off to college. I was done raising children. So I wanted something that could really help me to focus back on Kiva, right? So I came across Miss Plus America. I had never heard of it, anything like that. And I really contemplated whether or not I should join. So I kind of wanted to join and then I would talk myself out of it. And I did that for quite some while until I was like, okay, you know what do I have to lose? I had no idea, everything that really came with that responsibility, such as finance and all of that. But for me, it was a rewarding experience. I learned so much about myself. I learned I rediscovered actually some strengths that I forgot that I had, some tenacity, just being able to just persevere even when you're tired, you feel spent. Of course, I took several opportunities to rest, but I got right back in it because I didn't want my reign and my work to go in vain. But pageantry, if you take this job seriously, it is hard. It's a lot of work. This is like a whole nother career path, right? So on top of staying abreast of your community obligations, you have to make sure that family does not fall by the wayside, that your whatever income source that you have, you do not neglect those either. So it's really about finding that work-life balance. But for me, I had to learn from scratch. I always thought I had a pretty decent walk, but I had to learn to be graceful with that, right? I have a stutter, so sometimes I have to pace myself when I speak so that what I'm trying to portray come across fluid. So there are just those certain things that I had to learn, but in order for me to learn, I had to be open and willing to learn. So, and that's the biggest thing in pageantry, is just making sure that you always stay teachable, because there is something that you can always learn.
Absolutely. Miss Plus America Elite, what was challenging for you as you were transitioning to becoming this Miss Plus America Elite? And we're going to get to that elite because that is elite.
Thank you. So for me, it was shifting. I am a probation officer, so I'm used to carrying myself in a certain way when I
Yeah.
speak. And when I speak, I'm black and white. It is what it is. When I speak, when it comes to law enforcement and things of that nature. And I'm also a model. I'm a model that knows how to walk on the runway. So I had to transition myself both from that law side and the model side to be able to grow into a queen to meet Miss Plus America standards. So I'm transitioning as far as making sure that I am not saying I am making sure that I am engaging and I'm overall being a queen that I am. And when it comes to walking, making sure I'm not doing the actual model walk, because there's two different sides to that. It's not the same. And sometimes I get confused when people are like, oh, you can model, you good. No. There's a certain way that it has to be done. And you have to be coachable. One thing I can say when it comes to Miss Plus America, we are known for hard interview questions. That's what we're known for. And we will ask the hard questions. And you have to be able to respond to those. And if I did not have coaches, I think that today I would not have done as well as I think I would have. Only because of you have to have someone that knows that system and knows how to grow and groom you to polish you up, because we don't know everything. We don't know the ins and outs. And you have to go to someone who had that experience. So that
That
was for
was,
me.
that was amazing. So the process, now that we've gone through the physical aspect of it, what was it like? We've gone through the competition because we know we got to get through the competition. We got to get through the prelims. We got to get to the semis. We got to get to the finals. And you're up there and they call your name, Miss Plus. Now, what order do they call it in? I think which one is which one is the last one? Now, wait, Miss Plus America Elite, before we go any further, Miss Plus America Elite, why are you Miss Plus America Elite?
So for me, okay, so for the Miss Plus America Elite title is actually granted to the highest division winner for the whole pageant system. And so each of the division winners are actually crowned. Kiever was crowned Mrs. Plus America before I was, and then I was crowned Ms. Plus America, and then Shaylin and the team were crowned. And then we would go back on the stage and they would actually announce the elite winner on top of that.
Out of all the divisions, you have your team, you have your MS, MS, MISS, MRS, and all of the others. After everybody has been announced that they won their division, you all are brought back upstairs on the stage. You're all in your feelings because I can't believe I won. Give them a crown and flowers. And then they say, now you all did well. But this one right here, she did extremely well. She is the elite because
That's exactly how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. Yep.
It's like you're like holding your stuff. I want to thank my mama, my daddy, and everybody. And then say,
and Kimberly, we were ugly crying too, honey. We were like,
we were.
Makeup running, lashes crooked.
Yeah, the raccoon eyes and everything.
Because when Kiever won, I was behind the curtain jumping for joy because I was so excited that she won and they announced her as Mrs. Plus America. And then my opportunity came and I was like, okay, what are we going to do here now? And I did the ugly cry twice.
No, y'all did. Y'all talk about. I know y'all hugged in the corner. Come on, South Carolina, baby. South Carolina, baby. We bringing it home, baby. I I know y'all are very proud to represent your state. And what is amazing about this process with the Miss Plus America pageant, there's one thing I would love to ask you. What has been the reception for you this year? Because I know that you're about to, in a couple of days, everybody will be heading to Houston for the next queens to be next competition, and it'll be time for you to hand your crowns over and to give it to someone else to reign. But before we even get into that part, what has it been like? What has been the response around the United States or anywhere in locally or United States about you having this crown?
For me, it has been phenomenal. You know, people are so, well, first of all, what I will say is people will kind of sit back first to see what kind of queen you're going to be, right? And once they see that you are serious about the job at hand, you're serious about the crown that is on your shoulder. Once they see that you are not a joke and you are a queen that is ready to work, you'll be very surprised how many people you would get to support you.
Oh.
But they but if you are a crown chaser and that's pretty much all you are there for, you will find that your journey may be a little bit tougher than, you know, others. But for Shimon and I'm not going to speak for her, but what I will say is that we have been two of those working queens. So for me, it has become a lot easier trying to gain support on the national level than it was for me on the state level, because I feel like I had to kind of prove myself. And once they see that, you know what, this woman is serious, you know, she is about her business. That's when I came to appreciate the support that was behind me. And you don't have to ask for the support. Once you get to that level, people will literally seek you out to be able to ask you what it is that they can do for you.
That's interesting. Now, Miss Plus America Elite, what is, and I'm gonna go off of what Miss Plus America said as far as crown chasers, people that are crown chasers and that might not want to do the work. How can that person, those people, be easily spotted? I guess they're not doing the work, I would assume. But what, let me see, how my question is when you were talking about crown chasers, and I understand what you're saying when you talk about crown chasers, because of course I had a little stint in the pageantry world, so I do understand what you're saying. But for my viewers who are saying, well, oh, it's crown chaser, is that like a clout chaser? Is that kind of the same thing?
Yes. So it's just basically saying that you have queens that go from pageant to pageant to pageant trying to win different crowns. For me, if you're going to participate in any type of pageant system, you have to connect to that pageant system. There's something that you have to be able to bring to that pageant system, and something that matches with your ability to represent that pageant system. People will watch you. People will pay attention to you. And I, just like Kiefer said, it's easier on the state level, national level versus the state level, because at the state level, they're paying attention to see what you're actually are you going to be worth the endorsements and things, or are you just another person here with a crown on your head looking for us to support you and pay your way through nationals? And that's when you go back into that as, what work are you really doing? And for me and Kiever, the first day that we got crowned, after that first week, actually, we were making appearances at the state level. We were out in the community because we love our community. We give back to our community, and we made so many connections. That's even going into nationals. After nationals, Kiva and I were working, and we are in fact working queens. I actually have one more appearance before I actually leave South Carolina for Houston. So I have one more in me, and then that would actually be my last appearance, which would be on Sunday. And I just wanted to spread the word about Miss Plus America, my platform, being able to build and do something. Because as a queen, what are you bringing to the table? What is going to set you apart from the next queen that came before you?
That's really good. Now, my question is, as you all have said, you're heading to Houston this weekend. Hopefully, you can get there with all this craziness with the airlines and the airports and all this craziness. I so hope that you guys can get out. My question is that you're going because your time is up. Your time is up, and it's a year journey. Am I right? It's a year.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just a 12-month. It's a year, 12-month journey, and I'll start with Miss Plus America. What is the takeaway? The two-part question. What did you learn this year? And number two, what will you tell? What advice do you have? We don't know who's going to win. We have no idea who's going to get this crown. There's going to have this Miss Plus America, the next one. But what advice do you have for that person that will be taking the crown, that you will be putting that crown on their head this weekend or next week?
I would say one thing that I have learned is, as I stated earlier, top of the show, I knew I was strong, but participating in Miss Plus America helped me to rediscover some of that strength that I thought have gotten lost in my marriage and raising children and running a household and running businesses. So it really allowed me to be able to get reconnected with Kiva and love and appreciate who Kiva was to the core. And that was very, very important to me. And as women, we tend to give so much of ourselves to so many other people that we forget that we need to pour back into ourselves. So one of the good thing about being a queen and having a platform and serving your community is what I had to learn is that even though I'm sowing into other people, sowing into them also strengthened me. It also strengthened my resolve. It also just gave me the extra oomph that I needed to continue forward. So I just really just fell into the love, to the passion of loving myself and continue to loving my community and just being able to be a representative for not only the girls and women in my family, but the girls and women that I have come into contact with as well. For my successor, what I would tell her is just embrace every opportunity that comes along. Really enjoy her reign. It's going to go by so fast. But at the end of your reign, you don't want any stones to be unturned. You don't want to get to this point in your reign and say, you know what, I wish I had done this. I wish I had said that. I wish I had gone here. So you want to leave it all on the table. And that's exactly what I did. I can truly and honestly say, Kimberly, that I am so ready to crown whoever wins. I'm ready, because I feel like there is nothing more for me to do with this crown. So I'm excited about going to Houston. I'm excited to just be with my other queens, but I'm excited for whoever my successor is. My work is done. And when I leave Houston, I'm leaving complete.
You like, and I'm done with this. It was
I'm
great.
done.
And goodbye. Miss Plus America, the same two questions for you.
So I've learned what doesn't break you is going to make you stronger. That's as far as my journey to the crown and everything, 'cause it was a journey to the crown. But during the reign, and I actually learned how much of a person that I am when it comes to promoting myself, promoting my brand, and serving my community. I've made so many connections throughout this reign, and I've done so many appearances that the connections are there. as stated earlier, I was a working queen keeper, working queen, and we have done we have done the work. And I am so excited to crown my successors, because I will also crown Miss Plus America and the Plus America Elite winner. And for them, I'm just ready for them to enjoy this opportunity, because it's going to be an opportunity that opens so many doors. You're going to have people connect with you because of the fact that they know that you're tied to this organization. Be ready for that. Be ready for those connections to happen. And depending on which state wins, the queens of the past are going to reach out to make sure that you are well, because Miss Plus America loves to have former queens come and support, and those queens will support you. And even if my successor may have a few bumps in the road, they're going to get through those days. It's like, oh my God, I think this is too much. It's not. I promise you, it's not.
It's not. Drive on, queen, drive on.
But for that journey, you're going to be like, wow, I really did this. And that's what's going to happen. And I even encourage the delegates that do not win, keep growing, keep promoting your platform, because you never know who is watching. You never know who is going to have an opportunity for you because they see the work you're doing in the community. So your reign does not stop at nationals, if that makes sense.
That is a very true point. Reign does not stop just because it's your time is up. Once a queen, always a queen. I know that you guys have your reunions and your get-togethers, and always supporting the next one that comes after, and the next one that comes after. So I know that that is a big support. But what do we say about the I wanted to pivot a little bit. My question is that what do you think about those that say you're not entitled to a crown because of your size, because of your weight? You're not entitled to a crown. A crown is for the standard size. What do you say to that? And I'm sure Miss Keever has something to say about that, because she looks like,
I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Please bring it.
You know what? What I love, what I've seen in the pageant industry in the past 2 to 5 years is absolutely phenomenal, because the pageant industry, in fact, has realized that it's more to women than being a size 2 or a size 4. Your size does not define who you are and what kind of queen you're going to be. So with that being said, the pageant industry is now not only welcoming plus size women, but now is open to moms. It's open to married women. You know, there is literally no woman that cannot find a pageant system that will appeal to what it is that they're looking to represent. And Plus Size America has really, we are the standard. Like, we have been the first pageant system that was created to acknowledge and represent the plus size woman. It really allowed women like Shimon and I and other plus size curvier women out here to not only be able to participate in a beauty pageant, but also be able to put their personality, put their intellect, put their community involvement on blast. So for those who are still set in the Stone Ages, that still believe
Right.
that all beauty queens have to be a certain size, they really need to look around and appreciate not only the smaller women, but all women. Because one thing about plus size women, curvy women, we're not going anywhere.
And
There will always be a curvy woman among us. And the strength of the woman does not come from her size. It comes from within. It's her character. It's everything about that woman that she brings to the table. So we are beyond feeling like we don't belong. We are beyond feeling like we're not good enough. We are beyond feeling like we're not worthy because we don't fit the industry standard. It's time that industry standard realize that we are real women and we are here to stay.
I know that's right. Miss Shimon, I know you looking like, ooh, give me just a little bit. Let me get a little bit, take me in. What do you have to say to that?
So I've experienced that. That was something that I experienced in high school when I went to try to even do the high school version of the pageantry. It was like, you're not the size we need you to be, because that's the reality. And for me, I'm a plus size queen, but I can, and I know even Kira, we can hold our own in any pageant system, regardless. But to say that even though because of our size, we don't deserve a crown, but we are the same individuals regardless of our size. We are here to stay, we are here to command, and we can actually run with the best of the best of the best. And if I had the opportunity to compete in another major pageant system, I would sign up and I would go and do what I need to do.
And I will win. Say it. I'll win.
No.
Put them in the dust. Still
That
look, do what you gotta do. Say I'll go and I'll win.
right.
Right, exactly.
Because we have to.
Exactly.
We have to. Yes, we have our own system, but my future goals are to enter into some of the mainstream pageant systems eventually in a year or two. But it's because I see those standards and I see what needs to be done. And it's not saying that some of those pageant systems won't welcome us. They'll welcome us, but it's going to be a journey. That journey will never be easy. It's not supposed to be. And it takes certain individuals to be willing to say, hey, you know, I'm okay with not being accepted, but guess what? I am here to stay. I am loud and proud, and hear me roar at this current
That's
time.
right. Awesome. So as we go into Houston, what is it like? What is there for you ladies to do when you go to Houston? Because I know that you're involved in the competition, but just in I would say the crowning part of when whoever is announced. What do you all do when you get to Houston? Do you have breakfast with the other queens and talk about, child, I don't envy these girls at all? Because I know back when I went in '86, I was tired. I just is that more or less like you just it's like a reunion, maybe more like a reunion of all the queens that come to the events.
So yes, and yes, it's actually like that. We have pre-registration on Monday. Tuesday, we'll have our Queen's dinner. Our Queen's dinner is where we all get into our evening gowns and we have dinner together. And that way the queens can actually experience and talk with each other and just, experience the sisterhood of Miss Plus America. And we also get a chance to be able to speak to those ladies in different segments prior to their interview. We're there to support them every step of the way, regardless of what part of their competition they're entering in, checking in on them and being there for them.
That's
Yes, we are definitely their support system. Whenever the ladies need, we are there to just be able to help them feel comfortable. If they just need to vent, if they just need a shoulder to cry on, because I'm not going to lie. I mean, we were just there last year and I know the emotions that they are going through. They are going to be happy, excited, feelings of overwhelmed, anxiety. They're going to go through a host of emotions. So we are there to be their, rock, to be there, whatever they need. That's what we are there to do.
awesome. How is it handled and I know it's a sisterhood and I get it and I got it, but everybody's not sisterly. So
Mhm.
how are those things? Because behind the scenes, it can get not all pageantries, because I don't want to put that like that, but not all. But I know at certain points in times it can get a little. We're eating dinner with each other now, and I'm very pleasant with you, but this is a competition. I didn't come home to go. I didn't come here to be your friend. I came here to get the crown. So is the queens, the former queens, more or less trying to make sure that those lines are not crossed? Like, hey, keep straight way, just do what you came to do, and don't worry about all that other stuff. Is that more or less, like you said, you're here for them in any way, but is that also a part of your anyway?
Well, the queens are there to build bonds, but they understand what it needs to be done. It is a competition, and each queen is advised on that there's only one crown. One crown for each division.
Right.
And it's repeated multiple times. I've even said it a couple in the group form that we have, and it's reminded that only one person is going to walk away with that crown. However, they are encouraged to make sure they are competing against themselves and make sure that they are putting their best foot forward. Because in honesty, you can sit here and pay attention to your competition, but you will be wasting your time, because the real competition is you yourself, because you want to put your best self forward.
That was a good answer. That was really great. That is a very good point. And it's something not just for this competition, but for lifetime. You can't look to the left and right. You have to put your best foot forward and really just run your race. And
Mhm.
whatever that race may be, you need to run it. So that was completely awesome. And so what will you ladies do next? The crown is up. You gotta give it up. You're gonna say pat him on the back. You gotta give it up twice. What will you do next when the morning? I would like to be a fly on the wall to see what would be that next morning after. What are you all doing? Because you're like, hey, that's you now. This your year. You got my year, my 365. We on day 366, and I'm done. What does that look like for you all?
For me, when I immediately get home, honey, I'm sleeping. Outside of work, I'm turning off this phone. My calendar is depleted right now up through maybe the middle or the end of August. So for those couple of weeks, I'm not doing anything.
I completely
Nothing.
get it. And
I
Shimon,
am resting.
now as a correction officer, how do you you said you're parole or correction officer. I'm sorry.
Probation
Probation.
officer.
So do they know that?
Mhm. Yes, I actually, so here's a funny story. So each time I went on the stage to answer my final question, either at or state both times, and nationals, I had got a law enforcement related question. So for me, it
She was
was,
lucky.
Yeah, I was like, God was
I
just
was
looking
lucky.
out for you, girl. It was me. You should have
She
known
was
when you got
lucky.
that. You should
I
have
was
known when
lucky.
you got that question. You should have been like,
I was,
And she
I was
was.
lucky
I got that.
because I did. I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, "Oh, okay, hold on. Let me go hand in hand." But for me, it's been able to, because of what I do in the community, I'm able to merge both because of my platform of breaking the barriers. I include that in my everyday work life, because from looking at statistics and things, is trying to encourage and educate my clients to make sure that they are prepared to handle any situation when it comes to the legal side. And that's the same way. And pageantry is being able to make sure they break those barriers that they need or need education. I have clients that they're very surprised when I tell them I'm Miss Plus America Elite. They're like, no, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am. So for me, it's just being able to be there and show that there's a different side of me and that I'm still able to do what I need to do. And I love being in the law enforcement field. It's something that has always been a side, legal field in general, anything with the legal side. That's just my side. And what's next for me? A whole lot of work.
No break
Uh,
for you? No break?
because I have requests after my reign to actually continue making, I don't want to say appearances, but connections and have things I have set. So I'll probably get a day and a half worth of sleep and it's back to work I go. I would also continue working on my magazine. She's the ish, Columbia, South Carolina, and building her up, building her brand, bringing that brand in the South Carolinas, and also work on a couple other things that I have and pushing my BU Queen model coaching brand and continue my appearances. I have so many opportunities coming within these next couple of months, even next year, that I'm excited for. I just got back from Washington, D.C., working with District of the Curve. So,
Oh, you went to DC Curve?
District of the Curves, yes, I
How
was
was
in their
that?
show.
How was that?
That was it was amazing professionalism. It was great. It was a great experience. Just going in and experiencing the different stylists and designers that they had that's open for plus size women and males at that. I walked for a new designer first year and his line is amazing. And I told him I can't wait for him to actually launch it on his website because I know it's going to grow. Even going back to New York Fashion Week and doing those things. Kira and I, we enjoyed that opportunity. We were cold, but but we enjoyed that opportunity. Just being able to build those connections as well. So I'm, I would say I'm resting, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able
It
to
don't look
rest
like
too long.
you are truly a working queen. You gonna work what you got a crown on or not. You still working. You gonna like, oh, your reign is up. No, it's not. I got stuff to do. I'm still moving. I'm still
And that's
going.
and to be honest, once I crown my successors, is literally just going into my branding that I already have for myself because that's what I am. Be you queen, be yourself, be authentic, be you. And that's where my passion is being able to promote the curviness and breaking those industry standards plus that.
That is
So
absolutely awesome.
And she just said something really important, Kimberly, if I can piggyback off of,
Please
it's
do.
really important for the next queens to do exactly what Shimon and I did. We started preparing for the end of our reign months ago, you know.
mhm.
So we have things lined up already so that when our reign ends, I'm going to take a little hiatus, maybe a week or two, but after that, it's back to hitting the ground running. So it's important for that particular queen because some queens get to the end of their reign and then it's over and then they're sitting around like, okay, now what's next? Because they really didn't prepare themselves for this moment. And I can truly say that Shimon and I have definitely done that. We've been transitioning for several months now. So the next queen coming after us really need to keep that in mind, as their reign is approaching an end. You need to know what's next after your reign. And if you aren't absolutely sure what's next, you should at least have some kind of idea of what you want your legacy to be beyond the crown.
Absolutely. That was a great answer. That was absolutely amazing. I have one more question for you, for one of you. I think that both of you are probably going to answer this question probably the same because it's just policy. How can someone that want to follow in you all footsteps. I want to be a queen. We know they got to win state. They have to win state, and then they go, and then from state they go to national. How do they start in their area? What's the first step? Who do they reach out to? How do they get involved in the plus size, the Plus America pageant system? And we're talking about young girls too, because you have a teen division. I was so trying to get that young lady. I wanted to talk with her as well. We have a teen division, and we have young girls these days that are seeing BBL, BB this, and cut this, and pull that, and snatch this, and this and that. We want to be able to teach them also how to love and respect themselves right where they are. So we want to catch them very young with that. So how does someone be a part of this pageant system?
You can answer
Well,
this.
oh, I was going to say, well, they actually can start with, depending on their area, they actually may have a state pageant and they may not. So it's always good to just go to the Miss Plus America website and fill out the actual interest form. And then they would actually, whoever is the manager over that site would connect them. I do know that we have a state pageant in South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi, and we did have
Louisiana.
one in Louisiana.
Okay, so pageant is coming up July 29th to August 3rd in Houston. So where will that be in Houston?
That would be in Houston, Texas at the Hilton Galleria and Post Oaks. And we will actually have that whole hotel that week filled with so many events going on, from the Queen's Dinner, our pajama party, prelims, and our finals night.
Oh, hold on, hold on. You didn't say y'all having a pajama party?
Yes, we are
Yes.
having a pajama party. That is something that the delegates look forward to every year. That is the unwind after interviews, and let's take a breather and have fun time. And that's the time that the delegates love, 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 love. And I believe they will be doing a taco bar like they did last year. That taco bar was amazing. So it was good. So I'm excited to see what we have this year.
Okay, so are people able to buy tickets for the actual competition, and where do they need to go to get these tickets?
Tickets can be found on Eventbrite. You could actually go to www.missplusamerica.com, and you can click on tickets and it will actually link you to those tickets. We also have virtual tickets options available for guests who wants to be able to have that experience to all things throughout the pageant week. You can have a virtual ticket option, and those ticket options are still available, I believe, until Sunday, if I'm correct.
Okay. And so, Shimon, what is your social media handle so people can find you?
Yes, so I have a link tree, which is BU Queen, and it's BE, the letter U, Queen. And then also I can be found at Facebook, Shimon Garcia, and BU Queen. And also I can be found on Instagram and TikTok with the same names.
Okay, thank you, ladies, so much. I really do appreciate your time. And this is Kimberly Beasley, host of Thick Thighs Matter podcast.
Confidence in every stride. Thick thighs matter, let your light shine.